Hey y'all, my name is Ashley and I'm sure you've already figured it out, but today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on the latte makeup trend. So if you want to see how I do the latte makeup trend and a few tips and tricks along the way, then go ahead and keep on watching. So I know this might seem like really bad timing because someone else posted a latte makeup, but I planned on doing this today, okay? Someone was kind enough to leave a suggestion last week or it was the week before. It was either last week or the week before, but someone was kind enough to leave a suggestion of a latte makeup tutorial for me. I'm gonna do it the way that I would do it. I haven't really watched anyone do a tutorial. I watched 3 minutes of Robert E. Christie's just because I was curious if she was gonna say anything. Anyway, I'm rambling, but that is why I'm doing it. And then I mentioned on Friday that I was gonna post it today, which is Tuesday, because I want to start posting tutorials on Tuesdays because I just like the sound of Tutorial Tuesday. So that is what I'm doing today. And it's not oh, I'm posting it to get more people to pay attention or find my video. I mean, come on, I've got 40 views on my videos. Nobody's gonna find it. But I wanna show you how I do this, what they call latte makeup trend. To me, it's just a bunch of neutrals, but let's go with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep my eyes with the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas Eye Base in the shade Fair. Today I'm not gonna be using the white one because I'm gonna be playing with neutrals. So I'm just gonna use the fair shade because it's just a little bit lighter than my skin tone and it will cancel out all those veins and the darkness that my eyelids like to hold on to. Eyes are nice and primed, everything's nice and canceled out. Before I start applying makeup, and I keep forgetting to do this, but I do find that this Ole Hendrickson, what is this called? The Banana Bright Vitamin CC Stick. I need to put this under my eyes and get in the habit of doing it before I do my eye makeup because it makes it really difficult to apply after I do my eye makeup. And since I do my foundation after my eye makeup, I need to get in the habit of putting this on in the right spot of my makeup routine. I really need to brighten up these eyes because yet again, I am doing my makeup and then going to the grocery store. I feel like my life revolves around going to the grocery store. I'm oh, it's Monday, we gotta go to the grocery store. I lied, just kidding, it's Tuesday, wink wink, nudge nudge. But no, I gotta go to the grocery store and luckily tonight I do not have to make dinner because at my kids' school, it is Spirit Week and tonight is Spirit Night. So that means when you go eat out at the restaurant that they pick, then you give them the school name and the money, some percentage of that money goes to my kids' school. And that's what we're doing. We are participating in Spirit Night because that's what good parents do. No, I don't want to cook dinner. So, but I still have to go to the grocery store for the rest of the week. So like I mentioned earlier, I haven't really seen a lot of people do this trend, and that is because I'm not very active of watching beauty content on TikTok. Honestly, I'm not very active of watching content or consuming content on TikTok at all. I like to be on my feet most of the day. I'm a fan of long form content because I like to be able to listen to podcasts or hour-long videos that I don't have to watch, but I can listen to while I clean the house, go to the grocery store, just do those type of activities. So I don't consume a lot of TikTok because it involves me being at my phone and swiping. I don't really know what palettes other people are using, but the palette I like to use for this type of look is actually from Patrick Ta. This is the Major Dimension palette. This is the first one. And as you can see, this is mostly neutrals. I feel like the new one that he just came out with would be great for this look as well because that one's all mattes, but I'm not buying it at full price. Just like this Patrick Ta palette and my other Patrick Ta palette, I wait for the Sephora sale. I'm getting that bitch 20% off, okay? I cannot spend $70 or justify $70 on a very nude palette that I probably already have in my collection through other palettes. So I do enjoy the formula. The way that I'm going to do this, I don't know if other people are doing it this way, but this is the way that I like to do it. So if I want this bronzy goddess look, which is what I see this look as, I like to use my bronzer as part of my eyeshadow because why can't you put bronzer on the eyelids? No one's stopping you. So the bronzer I'm going to be using is from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Beautiful Skin Sun Kissed Glow Bronzer. I absolutely love this bronzer. I use this every time I do my makeup. Like, I'm not using any other bronzer but this one. It is a cream bronzer, but it's like cream to powder, let's be honest. I'm gonna start by using this first for my eye look, and then I will dip into the eyeshadow palette. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this bronzer and just use my little eyeshadow brush here, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply it in the outer corner, but just kind of like pat it in because I'm going to buff the shade out in just a minute. But I'm gonna take a clean fluffy brush and kind of use this to blend out the bronzer with no product on there. I'm sure you can tell by the way I'm dressed. Well, if you can kind of see, I'm wearing a flannel. I'm living for fall now. Like, summer's over. I know it's like 100 degrees outside, and I know some people are like, no, it's fall, it's September, but it is very hot still here in Houston. But in my head and in my house, I'm keeping it cool enough where I think it's fall mentally, so I stay happy. But also, this past weekend, Bath & Body Works had their like $12.95 candles, like all their 3-wick candles. So you bet your ass that I took my little ass all the way down to Bath & Body Works and got myself some 3-wick candles that smell like pumpkins. My house smells like fucking fall, and I love it. Like right now, I think the one I'm burning in this space right now is Sunrise Woods. And since it's a Monday, Sarah's actually working from home. So she's downstairs, and I think she's like burning like bonfire pumpkin or something like that. Like, we are fall, okay? The older and older I get, the more and more I hate summer. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my Patrick Ta palette, and now this, like, look, you don't have to have this palette. So I'm just basically gonna use a dark chocolate brown, and I'm gonna go ahead and press that just a little bit right here in the outer corner, just in that tiny little bit of a crease. I'm debating on zooming y'all in more because that way you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But if I zoom you in even closer, you're gonna see all my pores and acne even closer up, and I don't know how I feel about that. But taking that chocolate brown on a small detailing brush, and I'm just going to pat it into the corner of my eye, like the outside corner, just a couple little dabs. And then take that same fluffy brush that I used to buff out the bronzer. I'm gonna go ahead and use that to kind of buff out that darker shade as well. If you're curious though, in the Patrick Ta palette, it is this shade Transition. For the next shade, I'm gonna go in for something a little bit closer to my skin tone, but a little bit darker. So in the Patrick Ta palette, it's actually gonna be this shade right here. Ooh, which one's the matte one? Is this shade right here. And that is in the shade Mother. No, is that Mother? No, I lied to you. I can't read for shit. That is in the shade Absolutely. If you're curious on what shade in this particular palette it is, like I said, it doesn't matter because I'm sure everyone's got different nude palettes and their preferred warm nude shades. Now for this one, I'm going to use a much fluffier brush, and I'm just going to dip in there and kind of use it mostly all over the lid except for the inner corner. So I'm just going to use that to blend in with the other shades I laid down, and then blending towards the inner corner but not going into the inner corner. And just to keep everything nice and smooth, that same brush that I was using to blend out other shades, I'm going to use it again. And in between using this brush for the other shades, I am wiping it off. I have like these microfiber cloths in here that I use to brush off my makeup brushes. I don't like this color swatches just because I feel like they're too harsh on my brush and gonna mess up my bristles. And that might not be the case, but I feel like that's what's happening, so it doesn't work for me. And I find that microfiber cloths, like, they pull the color out. Like, you can see it. Like, you can see it pulling color out of my brushes because I get a new one out every single time I start my makeup. Usually they end up a bit green to start with because I do my eyebrows first. So, but it works. Now, this next step, I'm actually going to be dipping into a shimmer, and it's not like a super shimmery shade. I believe this is like a matte with like little bits of sparkle, but I'm going to use a nude that's lighter than my skin tone. So for me, it's going to be this one, and this is in the shade Divine. They better have a good reason to be going crazy. Bella, you are not a goose. I'm going to go ahead and place this shade in my inner corner and then blend it into the last shade I laid down And just like before, I'm gonna pull out that same brush I was using earlier to blend shades, blend that in too. Since this type of look isn't like those bold in your face, and it's gonna be more of like that natural look, you wanna make sure when you're blending, you're not blending up, you're blending down. Because you really don't wanna go too much above your crease. At least for me, I find that this look looks better just a little bit above the crease, not much further up the brow bone. So I am a big fan of like the brightening my inner corner and my under eyes. And before I jump off camera and do the other eye and apply my foundation, because we'll do the rest of that on camera, I am gonna show you how I like buff out my eyeshadow after I've like done majority of the look. So for the inner corner, I'm gonna take a little bit of my pink loose powder. So right now I'm really into the Gerard Cosmetics, what's this called? Slay the Bake Blurring Powder in the shade pink. I like this one because it definitely has a more brightening pink than my Givenchy one. I still like my Givenchy one, but when I'm looking for something like really pink, I like to put this one on my inner corner. So I'm going to take a little bit of that on a very, very fluffy brush, and I'm going to blend out my inner corner, like up to probably about the center of my eyeball. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pink powder up to my brow bone. So I'm going to kind of use it to like set everything, I guess. I mean, I still have some primer up there, but just like this adds like a smoothness to that, and it brightens up the inner corner. And then for the rest of the eye, I will just use whatever loose powder that I'm going to use to set the rest of my face. And that powder that I'm going to use to set the rest of my face is actually going to be from KVD. This is the Lock-It Translucent Powder. I used to use this a long, long time ago. I've talked about this before, and then I stopped using it because I stopped supporting the KVD brand. And then since KVD became KVD and not Kat Von D anymore, at the beginning of this year, I was like, I'm going to go back and buy this powder because I used to use it all the time. And I'm back into, I love this powder. So I'm going to use that same brush and just do the same thing and just buff out underneath my brow. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put on my other eye and some foundation. So heads up, the foundation I'm going to be using is also from KVD. This is the Good Apple. I like this one because it still gives like a nice glow to the skin. And I feel like this look is supposed to have a kind of glowy, bronzy skin to it. So that is what I'm going to be applying to my face. I wanted to let you know, but I'm not going to show you on camera. So BRB. Foundation and concealer are on. I did a little bit of underpainting because I actually have like a really big pimple on the side of my neck, and I was trying to do the best way to cover it up. So I did like underpainting on my neck. But before I powder my face, I think a big part of this look is like the heavier bronzers and like a warmth. It's a bronze goddess look, but named after coffee. I don't know, that's just my opinion. I love coffee as much as the next person, but it's like a bronzy goddess summertime look, but I'm gonna like make it a little bit fall later in the video. So to contour my face, because I love to contour my face, I like to make my cheek, please not be on my flannel. Okay, good. I like to make my cheekbones look even like sharper than they already are. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood. I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand. Just because this one's a little bit like, it's not matte, it's like kind of glowy. So I'm going to just use that to contour with. I also think that this contour wand is like warmer than my usual contour. I tend to usually contour with the KVD Shade to Light palette. I have an iconic London sculpting palette right here. This is like all cream products right here, which is actually what I underpainted with. I like that one a lot. I have, and then my other favorite contour palette, they don't even make anymore. It's from Tarte Cosmetics. It's like the Park Avenue Princess palette. I love that so much. I really wish they would come back with that. Like Tarte's like constantly coming out with the same eyeshadow palette in different packaging. Can they at least like come back with the contour palette that I love so much? I'd appreciate it. I'm also going to take a little bit of my contour and bring it down my neck because I like my face to look sharp, okay? I don't want any roundness to my face. Even though my face is pretty sharp as it is, I like to make it sharper. Okay, now into the fun part. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Charlotte Tilbury bronzer that I used on my eyes. Yes, I'm going to use the same brush I contoured with because I really like this brush and my other one is dirty. So I'm just going to wipe it off and use it, okay? Don't judge me. I really love this brush for like cream contour and cream bronzer. It's like a Huda Beauty brush. It's like I think it's a blush brush, but it works really great for cream bronzer and cream contour. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to kind of overdo it with the bronzer. So I'm going to put it on my forehead. I'm going to put it on my cheeks kind of like I would with blush because this look is like all about the bronze. It's all about the warmth. So got my forehead done. Usually that's where I would stop and I'd put like a little bit here and a little bit there. But because I won't be using blush and I'm going to basically use bronzer as my blush, I'm going to go ahead and take it on the tops of my cheekbones and kind of bring it down on my cheekbone. And then I'm going to take a little bit and just kind of put it on my nose as well. I feel like my face is so warm, but I can see why this makeup look is on trend because it looks really nice. It's soft, but yet you still look pretty glam and put together kind of makeup. I can see why people really like it. I personally like a little bit more color, but I like my neutrals too, but if I had to pick one or the other, I would definitely go for more colorful looks over neutral looks. But this is the second time I've done it this week. I also had makeup like this on Saturday and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much that I was wearing like a flannel that day with like a peachy orange tank top underneath. And then today I'm wearing a different flannel with a black tank top underneath. So I obviously like that look so much that I'm recreating it on camera now, outfit included. Now, before I move on to the under eyes, I'm going to go ahead and set my face in the spots that I believe it needs to be set. So the under eyes, and then I kind of loosely powder my face because it's 100 degrees outside still. So I need to set this in place. Before I completely disappear and like finish up before we do the eyeshadow underneath and the lips, I want to show you how I'm going to powder my under eyes because I have to really like set them and I really want my eyes to be nice and bright underneath. So I'm going to start off by using the Gerard Cosmetics. This is, mentioned it earlier, this is the brightening pink one. And what I like to do is use this one in my inner corner, kind of similar on how I did the eyeshadow. But because this one is so brightening, this looks really great in the inner corner. Kind of like if you wanted to use like a lavender in the inner corner and then a pink for the rest of the under eye. It's similar style, but this is more suitable for my skin tone. So I'm going to take this and kind of just pat it in my inner corner for that brightening pink. I'm just going to put it like a little bit right there. And then I'm going to take the Givenchy Prism Libre one. So this is their pink one. And I'm going to use that for the rest of my under eyes. So I find that the Givenchy one is brightening, but not as brightening as the Gerard Cosmetics. And the Gerard Cosmetics one looks really great on the inner corner and then blended out with the Givenchy one. And it just like, I like how it looks on my face. But that is like what I've been doing to my under eyes that I've really been loving. And I kind of want to share that with everybody because I can't be the only one who has really dark under eyes and always looking for a different way to brighten them where it looks nice. And I find that this looks really nice, not just on camera, but in person. Now I'm going to powder the rest of my face. All right, my face is lightly set and I actually set it with a more luminous setting powder. And the setting powder that I use is actually the one that I kind of like concocted myself. I think I talked about it in like maybe the late spring or early summer. And it was where I took, let me just explain it to you one more time. So I have two different KVD powders. This is just the KVD loose translucent powder, right? And this is like a mattifying powder. It's supposed to like blur your pores and all of that stuff. So I took some of that and mixed it with a little bit of a luminous one and put it in this container. I think the luminous one I put in here might be from Jaclyn Cosmetics. I don't know who it's from. It might be from, I think it might be Jaclyn Cosmetics, but I mixed it together and it made a luminous powder that works really well for me. I find a lot of luminous setting powders too luminous. So I kind of watered it, powdered it down with a matte translucent powder and I like the way it looks. So that's kind of what I set my face with. So for the under eyes, I'm mostly going to go ahead and play with the darker browns. So I think for me, the way I like to wear this latte makeup look, I like to do the dark brown all underneath, just about, except for in the inner corner. I like the way that looks on me, and that is how I'm gonna do it today. So I'm gonna take an angled liner brush. I love using these for underneath the eyes, and I'm going to put it in that same dark brown that I used in the inner corner. So like that dark matte chocolate brown. And I'm going to kind of press that all on my bottom waterline, like just underneath the waterline, I should say. I like to press the pigment there. So all except for the inner corner. And then I'll take a fluffy brush and just kind of blend it out that way. Just like that. And then what I'll do is I will take a little bit of the same color that I used on my inner corner to, you know, keep things bright there. So this one right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and just use that as my inner corner and just blend it together. And then since that one has like a hint of sparkle, it looks really nice in the inner corner. It adds like a little bit of a twinkle in the inner corner, and I kind of like the way that looks. So before I move on to lips, I'm gonna go ahead and set my face. And what I'm gonna set my face with is actually going to be a glowing setting spray. I have two different ones of these. I believe this one's actually in a newer packaging and this one's in an older packaging. These are both from Iconic London. So these are their Prep Set Glow. This is the original shade. So it's kind of like a champagne pinky pearl shade. That's not the one I'm gonna use today. I'm gonna use their bronzing, like their one that's a little bit more bronzy. I like to use this one as a like bronzy goddess look. I like to spread this one on my body as well. But this is, what shade is this in? Okay, so this is in the shade Glow, and then this is in the shade Original. So, but that is what I'm gonna set my face with. Also, when I did my eyeliner, I did do black. Now, I would do brown, but I don't own a brown eyeliner, and I like my lashes to be black. I like my liner to be black. Unless I'm doing some type of graphic look, it's usually black. I do every look with a wing liner. I cannot break that habit. So that's why there is black liner in my inner core. There's a black liner in my waterline. That's why it's black wings. I cannot help it. Now I know everyone who is doing this trend is doing a lighter nude lip. Well, it's fall now. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch up the lip and make it a little bit darker. And when I mean a little bit, I mean a lot of it, okay? So I'm gonna be using a darker brown lip. Unfortunately, I haven't really been buying new lip products. I haven't bought new lip products. I think the last time I bought a lip product, like lip color wise, was in like January or February, and I bought like the Kylie Cosmetics lip kit in the shade Valentine. Yeah, I don't think I bought anything during the Sephora spring sale. So I haven't really been buying lips because I have so many lip products and I'm trying to use what I have. So the product that I am putting on my lips now is a brand that I no longer purchase from, but I'm not gonna throw away products that I bought. Like, it's my money, I already spent it, okay? And I'm replacing things as I go. So this is probably the next thing I'll go out and replace. But I'm going to be using a lip liner from Jaclyn Cosmetics in the shade Toasty because it is a dark brown lip liner. This is the only dark brown lip liner I own. So to go with the lip liner, I don't have that many browns. I'm usually a red, vampy lip kind of girl. So I don't have a lot of browns to choose from. So for my liquid lipstick, I'm also gonna be going with the Jaclyn Cosmetics one, and this is in the shade Feisty. I did buy the lip liner to go with this liquid lip, so that is the pair that I'm gonna use. I do have my eye on a couple different ones to try out from Sephora, but I'm a fan of like bold lipstick. So I don't have a lot of nudes to begin with, and I have like a couple. But when it comes to me putting lipstick on, I prefer a bolder lip over a subtle lip. And I feel like when you're going with so much matte, and even though I've got some glowy products on like my base face, I feel like my lip needs to not be matte. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the Fenty Heat Gloss Bomb. This is in the shade Glow Heat. So it's just the nude one. It's not really a like glitter gloss. It's more of a like pigmented nude gloss. So I'm gonna kind of apply it in the center and like dab it out with my finger. somehow when I'm like, I'm just gonna put it in the center, it turned into like a full glossy lip, but that's okay. I like it. I finished filming and then I started editing, right? Because I wanted to make sure everything was good to go and I wasn't like stressed out and had the time to do it. I rarely ever have the time to edit my video and film in the same day, and miraculously today I did, because I had to refilm my outro and intro. 2 different reasons. One, the lighting was really off. Second reason, I forgot to put my earrings back in. And my earrings need their moment because they're affordable and you can get them at Target, okay? And they're perfect for fall. So I gotta give my earrings their moment. But this is the final look. This is turned into a latte makeup tutorial that went grunge or went 90s throwback real quick. So that round lip, it just reminds me of the 90s. It doesn't help that I'm wearing a flannel and my hair is in space buns and I have like these long bangs going. I feel like it's like a whole different era right now. So whether you like to take this as a latte grunge tutorial or a latte 90s editions tutorial, whatever sounds better to you, that is what I'm going for. But go ahead and but if you like this tutorial, go ahead and subscribe, because I will have another tutorial next Tuesday. But until next time, bye y'all. God, I hope my mic's on.